Hello everybody and welcome back to... Hello everybody, and as you can see behind me, I have an empty bookshelf. And you can see in the corner, I have books that have been emptied from said bookshelf. I'm here today because I want to talk, well, you know, hi. I'm trying to clean out my room and get rid of some stuff. I'm sure if you go back through my channel, you can see how clean and bare my room used to be. And I try and keep it a bit cleaner now, but I have a lot of stuff from art school and hobbies, music, art supplies, camping supplies, food, stuff like that. Things like books. So one thing I want to get rid of, and I kind of want to clear out my library and actually finish and process stuff. I want to watch my TV shows. I have some time, and I've just finished school pretty much. I just have one essay to do. So finally, it has been several years in the running. I'm pretty much done. And I'm looking forward to many changes in my life and a new phase of my life. And so I'm trying to clear out things. And one of the things I want to clear out is my books. I used to read a lot as a kid and as a young teenager, and I'm sure this is probably familiar to you, or maybe had a similar experience where your reading kind of dipped for a while and maybe you're getting back into it, or maybe you want to get back into it. And if you are either of those things, join me. I'm going to be reading. This isn't going to be exactly a book club, but I'm going to be doing book reviews, short style book reviews. As much as I would love to do an hour or two long book reviews for every book, I'll be too busy to make those. I'll be too busy reading books to make long book reviews. So I won't be analyzing books, I'll be reviewing them and trying to keep them spoiler light. But how many books do I have? Oh, well, when I was growing up, I would always find books I'd want to buy. But I tell myself, only buy books that you're gonna read. Out of every 3 books I saw, and I was like, I want to buy this book, I want to read it, I'd often show some restraint and say, no, I won't read that. I won't buy that book because I probably won't get round to reading it. So I would only buy maybe 1 out of 4 that I saw and wanted to buy. I only bought, 30 to 20% of them. I still bought a lot, and I barely read any at all. Really? I liked reading, but I liked reading a few series, and I didn't really expand much, or I would start books and then not finish them. And so this is me trying to go back through my literal library of books and clear it out by actually reading them and then giving short reviews, recommending them and giving them a rating. I'm going to do a rating out of 7. This video, I guess, is episode 0, and I'm going to show you my books, and every time I review a book, it's going to be added back to the bookshelf, or I will just get rid of it if I don't like it. Maybe I'll keep all the books, and then at the end I'll throw out all the ones I don't want to keep, or, give them away, and burn the ones that mentally scarred me. So, strap in, pack up, join me on my journey of reading books, and let's see what books I'm actually going to have to read. These are the books. These are the books. And I'm going to give you a little rundown of what we have going here. You'll notice that they're stacked on top of a board in the middle of my room. And that's because I don't want to ignore these, because to finish these books, my aim is to finish them by the end of the year. That's my hard aim. And then my soft aim is to finish them by the end of the summer, which would be crazy. I'll go through all the numbers afterwards, but first I'm just going to kind of show you why they're piled up like this. The idea is I'm only going to be able to grab books from the top of the pile to read them. So if I want to read something at the bottom of a pile, I'm going to have to go through all of these. And I've arranged them mostly via series in order. A lot of books that are miscellaneous. Maybe the first book of a series. I have quite a few books that are like book 3 of a series, and I don't have the rest of them. But I'm still going to read them, and I'm still going to review them, because that's what I want to do. I paid for these books, and so now I'm going to read these books. Also, I didn't pay for some of them, because some of them were free. So even if there's gaps in some series, I'm not going to buy more books, because then I would have less time to read my books, and I want to read my books. If I have like a series and I'm really invested in it and I'm missing one, I might borrow that from the library just so I could give a better series review. Otherwise, I'm going to try and just stick to these books because this is already a massive handful or an eyeball full. I don't know how that works. Book tour. Okay, so let's go through kind of the outside and just show what we have here. Now, some of the categorizations that I've grouped these books together might seem a little weird. It was kind of difficult. These books were chosen not by me, but by this probably 10-year-old to like 15-year-old guy who kind of looked like me. I didn't pick these. Some other dude with my name picked these. But I think a lot of them are still interesting. You will notice this big pile in the middle. These are my miscellaneous fantasy books. It's mostly fantasy. The pile of the series are also mostly fantasy / teen or young adult fiction. Is like 90% of them. So let's go through what we have for this series. Firstly, a little cramped on the side here, but we have Anthony Horowitz. Now this is basically what I was reading. Instead of reading all of this stuff, I was basically reading these books instead. Anthony Horowitz, he's one of my favorite authors. This is the Alex Rider series. I think I have all of them. I got all of them up to this one, but I think there might be at least one more. I have a miscellaneous book, The Devil and His Boy. I remember liking that. I've not read it since I was like 11 though, so I'm excited to read that again. And then this is the series that I actually started. So when I was talking about with my reading journey, like I used to read a lot in my teens, and then I stopped for a few years. But then about 2 years ago, I started to reread The Power of Five. There's 5 books, and I think I've read the first 4. I own the first 4. The 5th and final book, Oblivion, I think I borrowed it from a library, but then I only read the first little bit, I think. So I don't actually know how it concludes. And this is one of my this is, I think, maybe my favorite fiction or fantasy. It's not like his medieval fantasy. This is modern day fantasy. This is one of my favorite book series ever. I love Anthony Horowitz, and as much as I love Alex Rider, I think I actually like this series more. I feel like this was planned out more. While this, he began and he knew it was going to end at some point. It kind of kept on going. And although it was always good, this is like, oh, I know there's only like 5 books, and I can see it's leading to a big finale. Anyway, that's my biggest talking point because these are the actual books I'm trying to read. I'm on the 4th one here. And so these books, I'm not going to reread these because I want to read the rest, but I will be doing reviews for these. So effectively, these 3 could be up here, but I just wanted to show all the books at once. So let's put them back here, and I'll only put them up when I actually film and post the reviews for those. So let's move on. Let's not even fix that up. Now, I only have 3 of the Skullduggery Pleasant books. I remember hearing about these a lot. It's a massive series. I think I used to have all of them, but for some reason, I only have 3. Maybe I lost them in the move to Canada. But we're still going to read that, and I'm still going to review them. Here we have the first 4 books of the Aragon series. I know this has had like a movie adaptation or something that was awful. No, I think I've read a similar series. Yeah, I have these 4. I think there's a 5th or maybe a 6th one, but I think having these first 4 should be fine anyway. I'm going to skip this bit and just lean over where I have Artemis Fowl, and I have another book series I heard a lot about, but I never actually read, but I bought, and I believe I have 2 at the bottom there. So we have 7 of the first books, all in order. Then we have 2 Spooks books. I don't really know much about them. We'll see. I have the 3 Hunger Games books back here. Ooh. And then I have the Middle-earth Tolkien books. I got The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. 3-in-1 or a 6-in-1, depending on how you categorize that. And then I have 4 books of Song of Ice and Fire. And these I actually forgot to organize them, so I will reshuffle that so I'm reading them in the right order. And then here, I used to have all the Percy Jackson books, but I think I got rid of them. But I do have the first 6 Olympus books, and then 1 of like the Egypt one, Riodan. I have some issues with these books, but I remember being a fan of them. The Percy Jackson ones I liked, and then when he started to do these, I definitely had some concerns, but I did still enjoy them. So those are going to be really fun for me to revisit, I think. That's all of the series I have, so let's go see the miscellaneous piles I have here. This one might be very strange, stuff that was hard to categorize. We have like Charles Dickens' Hard Times, we have Israel My Beloved, we have the Anne Frank Diary, Life of Pi, and then a book about the local area. And so this is very difficult. I know I have like Anne Frank's diary next to the Life of Pi, and a mixture of like real stuff, non-fiction, alternative history fiction, and then industrial fiction that's talking about history, and then sort of more realistic survival fiction. So it's a mixture of fiction and non-fiction, and I want to recognize that, but this is things that were difficult to put together. But I put these here because I thought this would be an interesting pile for me to work my way through. Like, if I want to break from, like, fantasy, I can go over here and read some alternative fiction, history fiction, or non-fiction. So that's the purpose of that. Then down here, we have, this is another weird one, it's a video game inspired ones that are connected to like video games, like nerdy properties. So we have like a Fable book, we have a Star Wars book, and then we have a book that looks like a superhero book that was made by the same guy who wrote the Halo books. So that's what I got there. Oh, actually over here, these are like children's books, or like classic novels. So I got this Thomas the Tank Engine. I got like this, I don't know where I got this. This looks like a kind of a girly book, but I like that can be cool also. I love to do following. And Give a Moose a Muffin, kind of more childrenly books. Over here, this was another very difficult pile, because I'm using pretty much all the books I have, aside from my Bibles, but these are kind of Christian resources / like daily devotional books, so I don't quite know how I'm going to use that, but we'll see. We'll have them here because they are books, and I might read through them. This is a reading book, this is like a daily book, this is a Advent book, and then this is also like an exercise book. So these are kind of more unconventional books. The Great Controversy. This is a pile where I got a bunch of free, very old books. So these kind of look more like old style fantasy. You got a good mixture. Looks like there's some sci-fi here. Yeah, these are just kind of old prints that I got for cheap. Look at that listing on there, $1.50 for a brand new book. And then over here, these are our main three, because these three piles in the middle, these are technically all fiction books that are standalone or part of a series, but I only have one of. If I did combine that, this would be really tall, and every time I'd get out of bed and try and leave my room, it would fall over. I tried to split them up, and it's not perfect, but these are kind of the more typical fantasy books, so kind of fantasy, medieval fantasy, modern fantasy, stuff like that. The ones over here are a mixture of, like this is Hot Pot Murder. So the library local to me often decides to clean out some of their inventory, I suppose, and so they just give the books out for free. So this is a mixture of like murder mysteries, thrillers, romances, thriller, or romance, or mystery. Like I got a young Sherlock Holmes book here. Unfortunately, I have no Sherlock Holmes books. Crime and romance, I'd say. Maybe some thriller. And then over here we have some more dark. Obviously, I've not read these books, but I believe these are more dark fiction / fantasy, with some horror aspects in it. I think the Dune book is supposed to be have some darker themes in it also. And so we have some stuff like that here for some darker stuff. Like I think, even though these are teen books, these are still darker books also, especially these. Yeah, I just got a little pile of books here that I thought were more dark. And then obviously we have the main one that stretches down and goes into the crevices there. But we do have a few more piles at the back. These are the two books that I'm reading for class. I have read this one, so that's a fourth book that I can do a review on instantly. I've read half of this. If I'm going to finish this book and review it, I'm going to have some harsh words to say about it, but let's move on. And then at the back, I wanted to include every single book I have in my room, pretty much. And so I also have comics and graphic novels here. Obviously, I had to put Garfield at the top, because you got to start with Garfield. You got to start with the classics. And then I also have manga and light novels over here. What I've spent a lot of my time doing in the last few years is getting into graphic novels and manga especially, and so a lot of my reading recently has been manga like Bleach, which is my favorite, and then also Vagabond. It's excellent, but I don't own any, and these are all the books I own. And that's it. By my count, I approximately have about 43 books, the general books, and then about 13 comic books / graphic novels, and then 13 manga / light novels here. So 13, about 43, which leads us to just about 60. So about 60 books to finish by the end of this year, and hopefully even by the end of the summer. If I do it by the end of September, these 60 books, if I assume on average page count is 300 pages, because we have some smaller ones, we have some really big ones. To read the 60 books by September, 2.4 days to read a book on average, which would be 3 books a week. And that would be about 100 plus pages every day at least. Or if we say by the end of the year, 3 books per fortnight. So 3 books per 2 weeks. So that's it. So I have 60 books, and I'll be posting 5 to 10 minute book reviews for every single book here. Maybe I won't be able to do a couple of these ones because those are, more like journal / exercise books. But otherwise, hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have like between 50 and 60 book reviews. If you're excited for this, please keep an eye on the channel. I've never asked this before. Maybe turn on notifications because hopefully I'll be posting more regularly and more bite-sized videos. So thank you for watching this introductory video. I suppose I could make this a series and just label this as episode 0. So this is what I got. 60 books. Feel free to join me in this Herculean task of reading with my eyes and going through my library. Please comment on the reviews, what you think of the book, if you're following along. I guess at the end of the book review, I might say what book I'm going to read next. So it's not going to be a proper book club, but I will give a little warning if you do want to follow along and get the opportunity to do that. Hopefully I will be moving, going at a pretty fast pace. So if you want to keep up with me, that would be awesome. And I'd love to hear what you think about the books I'm reading. In the comments section of each review, and yeah, or just let me know what you are reading. If you give me any recommendations, I'll say thank you, but I probably won't take them because again, I want to read my books and I don't want to buy any more. I want to get rid of them. Thanks for joining me. This is the one I'm reading right now, book number 4 of the Power of 5 series by Anthony Horowitz, Necropolis. I'm reading this, and like I said, I need to read about 100 plus pages every day. Today, I've already read 70 pages, but this is my day off, so I've had more time. This is what I'm working on. These are the books that I'm going to be reviewing soon. Everything else is yet to come. Thanks for joining me, everyone. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and spend some time outside, and some time reading. Good luck. I love you all. Number 15. Oh, no! Number 15. I love you all. Hello there. Hello there, my lovelies. Hello. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.